To obtain more notary knowledge, explore the full collection of books by Derek Spruill and find the perfect book for your notary business. Visit any online bookstore, Amazon.com, Barnes & Noble Bookstore, booksofmillion.com, bookshop.org, Mobile Notary by DerekSpruill.com, or download from Kindle to obtain your essential notary book to help with all your notarization starting today.
Welcome to Notary Knowledge. I'm Eddie, your host.
And I am Marylyn, your resident expert for today's show.
We are jumping right in today because, honestly, the landscape is moving incredibly fast. We are talking directly to you, the savvy strategist.
Exactly. You already know the basics. You've put in the time. And now you're looking to scale operations to that next high-level tier.
Right, because if you're still just, relying on hoping the phone rings or handing out physical business cards at networking events, you are basically invisible to the people who need you most.
You really are. Which brings us to the core philosophy for today's show. We call this the profit pivot.
Yes, the profit pivot. I want you to write this down, remember it, internalize it. Visibility is the fastest path to inbound revenue.
I mean, I'll say it again because it's that important. Visibility is the fastest path to inbound revenue. Everything we talk about today branches off that single truth.
Exactly. But before we get into the heavy strategy, let's just do a tiny bit of housekeeping.
For sure. If you want the complete picture, you really need to go back and check out our prior episodes. We lay down all the operational groundwork there.
Yeah, the foundation. And if you're getting value out of what we do, please rate the show, subscribe, and share it with other driven professionals. It really helps.
And to really master your craft, to actually treat this as a serious enterprise, you absolutely have to buy the Notary Knowledge books by Derek Spruill.
Oh, absolutely. They're the blueprint.
Yeah.
You can't build the digital architecture we're about to discuss without that solid bedrock.
Right. So let's get into the actual mission today. We are breaking down what we call the Google Business Local Hack.
Yeah, and let's clarify that word hack right away.
Yeah.
Because we're not talking about black hat tricks or gaming the system.
No, definitely not. If you try to keyword stuff or manipulate reviews today, the algorithm will just permanently suspend you. It's not worth it.
Right. It's about feeding the machine what it actually wants, because the Google Business Profile, the GDP, it's not a phone book anymore.
Mm-hmm.
It's this dynamic AI entity.
It really is. And the stakes are huge. I mean, 46% of all Google searches right now have local intent.
Almost half. That is wild.
Yeah, almost half. And when you look at what actually gets you into that top local pack, 32% of the ranking factors are just your GBP signals.
Wow. So if your profile is even slightly out of date, you're just not showing up for the most profitable clients.
You're completely invisible. So we need to look at how the 2026 AI algorithm actually decides who wins. It's based on this triad: relevance, proximity, and prominence.
Okay, relevance, proximity, prominence. I mean, those sound like classic SEO terms.
They do, but they've completely mutated. The new AI overviews, Gemini, the Ask Maps feature, they don't just read your data anymore. They scrape it to instantly answer complex questions.
Right, they're having conversations with the user.
Exactly. And let's start with proximity, because this is a massive shift. It used to be static, right? Just a pin on your office and a pin on the searcher.
Yeah, like how many miles apart are these two dots?
Right. But today, the AI uses real-time movement. It predicts where the searcher is going.
Wait, really? Like if they're driving?
Yes. If someone is on the interstate going 60 miles an hour and does a voice search, the AI vectors their trajectory. It shows them businesses further down their route.
That is incredible. So it's anticipating the intersection of where the client will be and where the professional is.
Exactly. And relevance has changed just as much. It's not about exact match keywords anymore. It's all about neural matching.
Okay, neural matching, meaning it understands the intent of the search, not just the words.
Right. If someone is frantically searching at 3 in the morning, the AI knows they have an emergency.
Yeah.
It stops caring about the huge corporate office downtown.
Because the corporate office isn't going to help them at 3 a.m.
Exactly. It completely prioritizes immediate availability over historical authority.
But let me push back on this for a second, because thinking about a solo mobile operator out in the field,
Sure.
If proximity is tracking real-time GPS, what happens if our listener is currently driving, say, 30 miles outside their normal zone?
That happens all the time.
Right. So a high-value search pops up back in their home territory. do they just lose the job because they're physically too far away in that exact second?
That's where the most disruptive update of 2026 comes in. It's the openness signal.
The openness signal. Okay, break that down.
Basically, physical distance becomes secondary if the AI is totally confident that you are operational right this second. It's like a high-tech matchmaker.
Right. The AI says this person is further away, but they're awake and responsive.
Exactly. It overrides its own geography rules because an open business 30 miles away is infinitely better for a user in crisis than a closed business 2 miles away.
That makes total sense.
Yeah.
But before we get into how to actually prove you're open, we're going to pause for a quick commercial break.
Sounds good.
All right, we are back. So we were just talking about this openness signal being the ultimate matchmaker. How strictly does Google enforce this?
Oh, it is ruthless. It's a binary filter. If a user searches at 11 p.m. and your profile says your hours are 9 to 5, you vanish.
You don't even make the list.
Zero visibility. You could have 500 five-star reviews and you still won't show up.
Okay, so the immediate thought for a savvy strategist is, well, I'll just log in and set my hours to 24/7 to bypass the filter.
And that is the biggest trap you can fall into. Do not do that unless you actually operate 24/7.
Because they track you, right?
Yeah.
The behavioral signals.
Relentlessly. The AI monitors what happens when a user clicks call on your profile. If your phone rings at midnight, you're asleep and goes to voicemail.
The user hangs up and calls the next person.
Exactly. And Google's servers track that entire sequence. They see you claim to be open, the user called, you failed, and the user bounced.
That's a huge negative signal.
It actively penalizes your prominence score. You broke the AI's trust.
Wow. Okay, let's look at a real-world scenario to make this concrete. Let's talk about Keisha, operating out of Alabama.
Keisha is a perfect example.
Yeah, she does these highly specialized late-night nursing home signings, and she relies on her gut because she can't just take every call.
Right, she has to triage. She gets a call at 1 a.m. She evaluates the caller, asks qualifying questions about the situation, makes sure it's legitimate.
Exactly. So how does her process feed this behavioral loop we're talking about?
Well, Keisha genuinely takes the calls. So someone searches at midnight, they click call, and she actually answers. That connection is a massive positive signal.
Right. She's verifying her 24/7 cam.
Yes. And they're on the phone for 3 minutes while she runs her triage. The AI sees that duration and says, okay, she is actively engaging in problem solving.
And then say she takes the job. She opens Google Maps to get directions to the nursing home.
Which is another massive behavioral signal. The AI sees her physically relocating to fulfill the intent.
So Keisha just dominates the rankings because she's feeding the AI undeniable proof that her operational reality is true.
Exactly. She wins every time.
But, being awake and answering the phone is only half the battle. How does the AI know what you actually do when you show up?
Right. That brings us to the actual text on your profile. Category strategy and the 250-750 description hack.
Let's start with categories. A lot of people mess this up.
They do. The primary category is the heaviest ranking signal you have. And for our industry, it has to be exactly notary public.
Not legal services, not professional services.
No. If you generalize, you dilute your entity relevance. The AI needs that exact taxonomy to unlock the right features for your profile.
Okay, but Google lets you add, up to 10 secondary categories. Should you just use all of them to cast a wide net?
No, absolutely not. Every category you add after the third or fourth mathematically weakens your primary signal. The AI gets confused about what you actually do.
Ah, okay. So limit it to 3 or 4 highly specific secondary categories.
Exactly. And that flows right into the business description, which is where the 250-750 hack comes into play.
Right, because you get 750 characters for your description, but users don't see all of that, do they?
No. Only the first 250 characters are visible before someone has to click read more.
And let's be honest, nobody clicks read more when they're in a panic.
Nobody. So those first 250 characters are premium real estate. You have to aggressively front load them.
So we're talking primary category, high intent modifiers like emergency or mobile, and your unique selling proposition.
Yes, all before the cutoff. Let's look at Patty in DC for this one.
Right, Patty. She specializes in notarizing petitions. Highly specific niche.
Very specific. So Patty's primary category is notary public, and she uses legal services as a secondary. But her real secret weapon is the description.
Because she puts petition notarization right in that first visible block of text.
Exactly. She weaves in mobile petition notarization and her rapid response times right there in the first few sentences.
So when a political clerk in D.C. frantically searches for petition help, the AI bypasses the generic profiles and serves up Patty.
Because it's a perfect semantic match for their high-intent query.
But wait, I have to challenge this. If we just cram all these keywords into the first two sentences, isn't that just keyword stuffing?
It's a fine line.
Because if I read a description that says, mobile emergency DC petition legal services, I'm going to bounce immediately. It sounds like a robot.
And the 2026 AI will penalize you for that. It detects text written purely for machines. It's not about cramming, it's semantic weaving.
Semantic weaving. Give me an example of that.
Instead of a disjointed list, you write something like providing rapid mobile notarization for urgent legal petitions across the entire DC metro area.
Ah, so it reads perfectly naturally to a stressed-out human.
But the AI easily extracts all the necessary data points. Mobile notarization, legal petitions, DC area. You satisfy both the human and the machine.
That is brilliant. Okay, we're going to take another quick pause for a commercial, and then we're diving into the back-end code.
See you in a minute.
And we're back. Okay, so we've got the behavioral signals, we've got the text optimized. Let's talk about the underlying architecture, service area configurations.
This is where so many mobile operators accidentally suspend their own accounts.
Yeah, service area businesses or SABs. If you travel to your clients instead of having a storefront, there are strict rules.
Very strict. Do not, under any circumstances, try to verify your profile using a P.O. box or a virtual office.
Right, because Google's AI instantly cross-references address databases now.
Exactly. If it flags a virtual office, your profile is immediately suspended. Getting that reversed is a nightmare.
So you have to use your actual physical base of operations.
Yes, which for a lot of solo operators is their home address. But you just toggle the setting to hide that address from the public map.
Okay, address hidden. Then you have to define your service area. And I see people drawing these massive polygons over entire states.
Yeah, the algorithm sees right through that. A solo operator cannot cover a 500-mile radius on demand. It's map spam.
So what's the realistic boundary?
The industry baseline is a 2-hour driving radius from your verified base. Keep it within that, and the spatial algorithm trusts you.
Makes sense. Now let's get a little technical. Let's talk about JSON LD schema markup.
Oh, this is the ultimate competitive advantage.
It sounds intimidating, but it's really just a structured cheat sheet of code hidden on your website, right?
That's exactly what it is. It spoon feeds your business data directly to Google's AI in the exact format it prefers.
So the AI doesn't have to guess. And the biggest thing here is NAP consistency, name, address, phone.
It has to be a microscopic character-for-character match. If your Google profile says Main Saint with a period,
and your website schema says Main Street, spelled out.
the AI pauses. It asks, are these the same entity? That tiny discrepancy creates friction and you lose prominence.
Wow. Let's look at how Lucas out in Oregon uses this schema to actually solve an operational problem.
Lucas is a great example. He runs a tight ship, and he enforces a strict travel fee based on mileage.
Right, but springing a travel fee on a client after they call is terrible for business. It causes friction.
It wastes his time. So Lucas Lowe uses his website's back-end schema to define his exact geographic boundaries.
And he matches that perfectly on his Google Business Profile Services menu.
Right. He explicitly lists his tiered travel fees for those specific zones right in the profile.
So when a user asks Gemini, find a mobile professional in Bend and tell me the cost,
the AI instantly synthesizes his clean, aligned data. It replies directly to the user. Lucas Mobile Services can travel to Bend. A standard travel fee of $45 applies.
That is mind-blowing. The AI is basically acting as his front desk qualifier.
Exactly. By the time they call Lucas, they already know the fee. No arguing, no wasted time. High-intent conversions go through the roof.
Technical SEO solving real-world workflow issues. I love that. But the AI doesn't just read code anymore, does it?
No, it has a voracious appetite for visual proof. Which brings us to Vision AI.
Right. Used to be you just uploaded a logo and a headshot and called it a day.
Those days are over. Profiles with 50 or more relevant high-resolution photos get 42% more direction requests.
Wait, 50 photos? But they can't just be random pictures.
No. Google uses Cloud Vision API. The AI literally reads the pixel data. It detects objects. It extracts unstructured data.
So if you use stock photos,
You're penalized. The AI recognizes the unnatural lighting and the fact that the image is on 1,000 other websites. It degrades your trust score instantly.
you need authentic action shots.
Yeah.
But hang on, I got to bring up the obvious problem here.
Client privacy.
Yes, we're dealing with hypia, financial documents, sensitive legal petitions. You cannot take a picture of a patient signing a medical directive just to boost your Google ranking.
Absolutely not. Privacy is non-negotiable. You have to pivot what you consider an action shot.
Okay, so how do we feed the AI without violating the law?
You photograph your infrastructure, take a high-res shot of your mobile office setup in your car, take a picture of your professional stamps sitting on a closed, locked journal.
Okay, that proves you have the tools. What about proving location?
If you're at a hospital or a courthouse, take a wide-angle shot of the exterior of the building with your branded vehicle parked in front.
Oh, and make sure your phone is capturing the EXIF data, right? The GPS coordinates.
Exactly. When you upload that exterior shot, the Vision AI reads the hospital sign, recognizes your car, and extracts the GPS metadata proving you were physically there.
That's brilliant. You get massive algorithmic trust for geographic mobility, and there's zero risk to client confidentiality.
It's the perfect workaround. We're going to take one last pause for a commercial, and then we'll tackle the biggest interface change of the year.
See you right after this.
Welcome back.
All right, let's get into the evolution of Q&A, reviews, and reputation management. Because the consumer interface is completely different now.
It was a massive shock. You know the old manual Q&A module on GBP?
Yeah, where someone types a question and you manually type back a reply.
It's gone. Deprecated entirely. It's been replaced by an AI button that says, "Ask about this place."
So when a client asks a question, they aren't talking to me anymore.
Nope. They're talking to Gemini. The AI violently scrapes your website, your reviews, your services, and synthesizes an answer instantly.
And if your profile is blank or your website is vague,
The AI hallucinates an answer, or it just says, "I don't know," and the user immediately bounces to your competitor.
wow. So how do we control the narrative? Let's talk about Carl in Nevada.
Carl is the perfect case study. He handles vital records requests, which are incredibly complex in Nevada.
Yeah, tons of bureaucracy. So Carl knows the manual Q&A is dead. What does he do?
He builds an extremely detailed FAQ page on his website outlining every protocol for Nevada vital records, and he wraps it in FAQ page schema markup.
There's that scheme again. So he's spoon-feeding the AI.
Exactly. A panicked user asks the AI about expediting a birth certificate. The AI instantly pulls Carl's schema-marked answer and delivers it perfectly.
And Carl looks like the undisputed local authority without lifting a finger in that moment.
The AI becomes his 24/7 customer service rep.
Okay, but what about reviews? Because for a decade, the goal was a perfect 5.0 rating.
Yeah, that actually hurts you now.
Wait, a perfect score hurts you?
If it's a static 5.0 with no recent reviews, the AI flags it as an anomaly. It suspects you're manipulating the system.
So what does the machine actually want?
Review velocity and recency. A profile with a 4.8 average and 30 new reviews in the last 90 days will crush a profile with 300 perfect reviews from 4 years ago.
Momentum. It wants proof that you are active right now. But getting constant reviews is hard, especially in sensitive niches. Which brings us to the new pseudonymous reviews.
This was a total game changer. Google realized people wouldn't leave reviews for sensitive services if their real name and photo were attached.
Right, like Fiona in Idaho.
Exactly. Fiona handles signings for abuse situations and highly contentious domestic disputes. Absolute discretion is required.
Her clients love her, but they are never going to publicly attach their real names to a Google review about a domestic dispute.
Never. So Fiona was starved for review velocity. But now, with pseudonymous reviews, her clients can use generic avatars and nicknames.
But the review still counts.
Yes. Because Google's backend still authenticates the age and validity of the Google account leaving the review.
That is amazing. Fiona gets her crucial review velocity, her prominence signal skyrockets, and her clients stay totally anonymous and safe.
It allows her to dominate her market without compromising her ethics.
Honestly, that encapsulates everything we've talked about today. Understanding the technical nuances, dynamic proximity, behavioral tracking, schema, vision AI, it's how you protect your clients and dominate local search.
Yeah, local SEO isn't just a checklist you update once a year anymore. You are continuously building a digital entity to feed our ravenous AI brain.
Which leads me to a final sort of provocative thought I want you, the listener, to mull over. We are moving into a search everywhere reality.
Oh, absolutely.
People aren't just opening Google Maps, they're asking Siri on Apple Maps, they're using Bing, they're doing live searches inside ChatGPT.
And all of those platforms need data.
Exactly. Your Google business profile isn't just a Google asset anymore. It is the foundational digital entity that trains all of these global AI models about who you are and if you can be trusted.
Every photo, every snippet of code is training data.
So as you look at your operations this week, ask yourself, how are you training the AI today?
That is the definitive question for scaling in 2026.
We want to hear how you're implementing this. Email your questions to Derek at dereksproul.com. We will try to answer as soon as possible at the end of our shows.
Yes, please do. Real-world applications from you out in the field are always the best part of this process.
Exec producer Derek Spruill, lead writer Marylyn Trotter, graphics Eddie Montes Travis, music Thomas Bynum, produced by Magnificent Works Business Solutions. Don't just be listeners of the knowledge, be doers of the knowledge. This is Notary Knowledge. Until next time.
Are you an aspiring notary looking to join millions of other notaries? Start your journey with the Notary Public Foundation by Derek Spruill. This essential guide provides the step-by-step process to becoming commissioned in your state. Don't stumble into the role. Walk into it with confidence. Grab your copy of the Notary Public Foundation by Derek Spruill on Amazon today.